Hello, friends. Good evening. Good evening. It's great to be back together again this evening. Thank God for the beginning of another month, the second half of 2023, H2, and here we are already in the seventh month of 2023. And it is I have countless reasons to be thankful to God for seeing the second half of 2023. Indeed, the year has been very busy, it's been very full on, and it's also been very fruitful in so many ways. Very fruitful in so many ways, and my heart rejoices in God. For those of you who might have been following me closely, you will know that um, on the 1st of July, we had a celebration of 10 years of Feet of Grace. And I was celebrating 10 years since I started learning how to walk again, 10 years of the journey of transforming my pain to purpose, to power, and to profit. And it all began after I lost both legs, and I needed to walk through and process that phase of my life. And I look back today to the journey that I, by the grace of God, had worked in the last 10 years. And as I ponder on it and thinking about the theme for our conversation in the month of July, it was obvious to me that it's going to be the power of pain. So, over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the power of pain. What exactly, how exactly does pain have power? What can we do with the power that is in the pain in pain? How can we harness the power of our painful experiences to produce something that is meaningful, something that is life transforming, something that is life impacting, and not just for our own lives, but for the lives of people far beyond us, others in our sphere of influence, also receiving from what we have gone through and benefiting from it. And so today I'm just going to start that conversation. We have a few weeks to discuss it. And I just want to start by talking about pain in general and take a little bit close look at the transformative power that is in pain. But for us to get into the transformative power, it behooves us to understand what pain is all about. I'm sure every one of us has felt one kind of pain or the other. I mean, pain is unavoidable in the world that we live in today. We live in a broken world, and on this group, on this page, we talk a lot about pain and painful experiences, traumatic experiences, because we know that there is something there. It is something that happens to all of us. It is something that we all experience. It is unavoidable in the broken world that we live in today. And there is none of us, no matter how hard we try, that we will not have an experience that's going to cause us pain at one point or the other in the course of our lives. And if that is the case, if this is something that we are all going to experience in one form or the other, if pain is constant, then how can what can we do with it? What can we learn from it? We've talked about growth beyond the pain, go through the pain in this group. What more can we do? Because I believe that there is purpose beyond our pain. I believe that something like transforming and life impacting can go beyond our painful experiences. Because what happens to us is a preface in my understanding, in my experience, and in the work that I do with other people who have gone through pain, I see pain as a preface. There is more to come after our season of pain than that first chapter of pain, right? It will happen. Life will happen to us. Pain is constant in our world, and it is not a matter of if. As I always say, it's always a matter of when. At one point in time or the other, we're going to go through something that's going to rock our world. We're going to go through something that we didn't anticipate, something that we didn't plan for, something that we didn't expect, something that we did not envisage, something that we do not want. I mean, absolutely, who wants pain? But the thing is that if it's going to happen to us, so what next? I mentioned in a conversation with a friend of mine last week on a radio station, and said that it is a double tragedy for us to go through something that is painful, something that overwhelms us, something that, you know, touches us, wounds us, and we waste it. It's a double tragedy if we are going to go through these things and we can't bring anything out of that experience. I think it is a really tragedy. It's a double tragedy for us to have to go through something that is so life impacting and we don't bring anything out of it. And when I say anything out of it, because as I'm going to share with us, we know that pain has power, and that power could go in different directions, right? Just as the force of water can be used to produce energy, it can also be destructive, right? So the power of pain can be both transformative and it can be destructive. And for me, the point is, what do we bring out of a painful experience? Something that has happened to us that we can take into the future, that will be beneficial, that will serve as a gain, that will continue to produce a harvest of good, right? That whatever experience that we have gone through, how can we harvest something that is worthy out of that experience, right? And that's why I do this course, transforming your pain to power, to purpose, and profit, because I believe that our pain could be a seed, and could be a raw material that we can process and transform to something that is meaningful, something that is beneficial. And that's why I want to stay this month to explore what is this power that is in pain, and we're going to just talk about it in look at it in different dimensions, right? Now, we do not have control over what happens to us. I had no choice in the matter of the painful experiences that I had to go through for 20 long years. I didn't have a say. I didn't have control over losing my legs. I didn't have control over what led to losing even my lungs before it was replaced. I didn't have any control over it. But when life happens to us and things that we do not have control happens to us, we have control over what we do with what has happened to us. That we have control over. That we have a choice. What we do with it is within our realm of control. What happens to us is out of our realm of control, but what we do with what happens to us is within our realm of control. So the question for you and I is, what do we do with it? How do we respond to what has happened to us? How do we allow it to impact us? What kind of power do we allow that experience to have over us? That we do have control over. Now, pain can be in different dimensions. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be psychological, it could be mental, it could be, yeah. So those are different spheres of our lives where we could experience pain. Now, pain can be self-inflicted, based, you can actually inflict pain on yourself. Some people, when they go through depression, begin to have suicidal thoughts can inflict pain on themselves. So pain can be self-inflicted, or our actions and decisions can inflict pain on us. But pain can also be caused by something that we do not expect, an accident, a tragedy. It could be caused by the wrongful behavior of others, just to give you some ideas of where pain can come from. But the pain can also be divine test. Every time I think about Job and Joseph, and I see the kind of pain that they went through, and I could see the transformation that it experienced as a result of what they had gone through. It was not a palatable experience. It was not something they wanted, but for Joseph, you could see what it built up in him. He harnessed the power of that pain and he used it for, to in a transformative way. It built him up. It turned him to the person that he was meant to be. Right. Just hold on a minute. I need to stop some conversations going on behind me. All right. All right. Stay with me. I'm still here. Thank you. All right. Great. Okay. So, our deepest pain, right? Our deepest pain are often not physical, right? They are more emotional and spiritual. I have been through physical pain and intense, harrowing physical pain. I know that physical pain can be extremely intense, extremely hurtful. But there is a level of pain that you can't even touch it. You can't tell anybody, oh, this is where I'm hurting. It is the pain that we experience in the innermost being, the kind of pain that feels like a hot iron is searing at the core of your being, in the innermost part of your being, in the deepest part of your heart. And I've also experienced that kind of pain before. There was a time that I was a victim of calumny when, somebody that I held in high esteem, for reasons that I cannot explain, got misinformed and misconstrued my actions. And rather than ask me for an explanation, the person decided to take some decisions on the basis of what that situation. And the words that this person spoke to me from their space of anger, from their place of bitterness, those words were, I mean, I mean, like I said to someone, that it's one thing if somebody stabs you at the back and you can't see the face of the person who is stabbing you. It's another thing when somebody is looking at you and is slicing you with their words. I mean, I shared with a few friends today that words are very powerful. Words can be destructive. Words have the power to build up and to break down. And I have seen the cutting edge of words. Words can be used as tools of destruction. When you can use it as a sword to break people down, you can use like a sword to slice them. And that was the way I felt that day. As this person was talking to me, it felt like the person was stabbing me right in my soul, below my chest here, with a hot iron. Everywhere inside of me radiated with the heat of the pain that was coming from the words of this person. And I recall that I got home and I got into bed that night. I did not sleep. I was literally, wreathing in the pain that agonizing pain of the words that this person spoke to me. So the deepest pain that we do have, when you're talking about deeply profound pain, pain that runs to the deepest part of our core of our being, they actually are emotional. And I could not sleep. I tossed and turned all night long. I wept in the bitterness of my soul because of this experience that I heard. And I knew that if I didn't deal with that, the pain had the power to take me in the wrong direction. It had the power to make me so angry and so bitter. And this is where I am talking about the power of pain. Now imagine also how Joseph must have felt when his brothers, his flesh and blood brothers, lifted him and threw him into a pit. And he was deep down in that pit. And he was looking at them. They were staring down at him because they put him there and they looked down. They were satisfying themselves to ensure that he was there. Imagine the depth of pain he must have felt in the core of his being, looking up at his brothers, the people he trusted, the people who were supposed to be, act in his best interest, the people who were supposed to have the diligence of care for him. He was the youngest brother, and yet they did that to him. Imagine when they brought him out of that pit and he actually thought they had come to rescue him. And rather than rescue him, he watched his brothers, selling him out as a slave. His own brothers sold him as slaves to merchants, and they stripped him of everything that he would, of worth of his clothing, shackled him in his hands, shackled his legs, and he was trotting in the red hot desert. That kind of pain runs deep, a pain, that emotional pain that we feel, and that's the kind of pain I'm going to be discussing as I'm talking about the power of pain. I'm going to exclude the chronic physical pain from this conversation. I want to focus my attention on emotional pain, the psychological pain, the spiritual pain that we experience when life happens to us. You see, pain has the power to work in us in many different ways. Like I mentioned earlier, it has the power to destroy, it has the power to build up. It can have destructive power, it can have transformative power. The question is, how do we harness that power and transform it? I mean, you all know about hydropower, how they dam a river, and when the river is dammed, there are turbines inside the dam. The first time I ever went to such a place, I was about 10 years old when my father took me to Kanji Dam. We went to Kanji to visit a family friend who were missionaries there. With the families who are a friend, they were missionaries in Kanji. I was about 10 years old and they took us, around the Kanji Dam. I was intrigued at how water has been transformed into electrical power. And this is the kind of things that can happen. We can harness, they harness the power of water, and then they transformed it into electric power. When we see the same thing being done with wind as well, harnessing the power of the wind and transforming it into a power that can become useful and beneficial. The same thing with solar energy. It is all about taking the power of the solar and of the sun and transforming it into an energy that we can use in other forms. So there are different ways in which we can take the power of pain and use it. The same water that can destroy properties, that can, when there is a flood, can also produce energy that we can use. So if you take that to pain, There is power in pain. Pain is very powerful. And if I go back to the example that I shared that day, about what happened to me when I was a victim of calumny, I mean, it's like that pain could have shackled me and hold me in its tight grip and keep me in that space where I am hurting so deeply, and I will not be able to go on with with life, or continue with my life because of the hurt in the best part of my heart. And it can make you take decisions. And we have to be very careful what decisions we are taking when we are in pain, when we are in intense emotional pain, because the power of that pain can lead us to take decisions that we may eventually um, regret. So pain in itself, you know, it is meant to be our body's warning signal that something is wrong. Because if we don't feel pain, we can actually subject our bodies to neglect and destruction. Those who have leprosy, who cannot feel pain, they can get so close to something that is hot, and it will continue to burn them and they will not feel it, right? And that is why we need that element, the ability to be able to feel pain, so that we know where to remove ourselves. We know where to take ourselves away from. Now, whether our pain is physical, mental, or emotional, it has the power to consume us if we allow it. Pain has the power to consume us. I mean, just imagine the pain that Job felt, sitting down there, going through all that he has endured, and hearing what his brothers had to say to him. I mean, his friends were saying to him, it's yes, pain can make and mar you. It can consume you. I have seen people consumed by their painful experiences, by the pain that they have felt. And I dare to say that those who wound others, those who break others with their words, with their actions, are also people who have been broken by their own painful experiences, who never healed from it. They never got to heal from it, and they never transformed that pain. Broken people will break others. People who have been broken by pain, who never healed from it, who never transformed their pain, the power of that pain will use the power of that pain to break others. Let me say that to you again. People who have been broken, marred by pain, will use the same, and they never healed from it. They never transformed the power of that pain, will use that power of that pain to destroy others, to break others. Broken people break others. Hurting people hurt others. And that is why it is so important, so critical, that we recognize that pain is powerful, and pain can consume us. It can destroy us if we allow it. It is only when we begin the process of healing, when we recognize something happened to me, and what happened to me has power. It is when we recognize that, and we allow ourselves to experience healing, to begin the journey of healing, that we can truly, eventually experience the transformative power that is in our pain. That transformation that can bring us peace, that can bring us harmony, that can bring us, a coming together. And dear friends, this is something that you're going to hear me say. If you haven't heard me say it before, over and over and over again, it is a double tragedy to go through a painful experience that wounded you so deeply and not to harness the power of the pain, not to take it and transform it to something that is beneficial. Not doing so is putting ourselves on a path of destroying others. It puts us on a path to wound others. It puts us on a path to, to hurt others. Broken people break others. Hurting people hurt others. And pain has the power to consume us. It's like fire, it can consume if we don't control it and use its power in a transformative way. You see, pain has the power to produce powerful testimonies. Pain has the power to produce powerful, profound testimonies. I'm here today talking about pain, sharing about pain, because I have experienced pain. And it has produced an incredibly powerful testimony. I know it. I've seen the impact of the story God has scripted of my life and of my painful experiences. I have seen its power to inspire hope for others. I've seen its power to encourage others that they are not hopeless, that they are not alone in their own situation. And you see, the other thing about pain is that since it is a common experience that every human is going to endure, every human is going to participate in this experience. Its pain, therefore, can brand us with an acute sense of empathy. It has the power to brand us with an acute sense of empathy. Why? The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 to 4, that God comforts us in all our afflictions. With the same comfort, we will comfort others in their own afflictions. If you've been there and you have felt it, you know what it feels like. And it makes you to be more compassionate to other people who are going through similar experience. And there is the comfort of God that is available to you and I in all our painful experience, no matter what your own peculiar story may be. Yes, our pain and our painful experiences are not the same. It is unique to us. But the truth of the matter is that when you see somebody else who is going through something similar, it makes you feel compassion. It has the power to produce compassion in you. It has the power to brand you with empathy. You've walked the shoes, you know what it feels like, and you can relate to that person. And if you have gone through the process of drawing the comfort that God has available for you, and you have, been able to transform your pain to something that is a testimony, that's a story. You can bring that to those who are going through similar experience, and you become a conduit of God's comfort to them. You become God's fingers, caressing them in their own experience. When I sit with a woman who has lost a child, I understand what she's going through, what she is not able to verbalize, the intensity of the pain, the question that she is asking, the confusion she is feeling, the sense of loss that she is experiencing. I understand it. And I've been there, and I don't need to say anything to her. And just to say, I know how you're feeling. I have been there. There is a shift in the way we look at our pain, where you know that you're not alone in this journey. Somebody else has felt it. But if when I have gone through that experience, I've allowed it to murmur me and make me hard and make me bitter, and I refuse the comfort that God has for me in that situation, then I cannot be of any value to the other person. And this is the choice that we have, the control we have over how we respond to the pain that we have experienced. It's a choice that you and I have. What do you do with pain that has happened to you? How do you respond to that painful experience? And if we understand that there is power in it that can be that can be transformed to something beneficial, then we have a choice to decide whether we're going to transform that power of pain and use it positively, or we're going to allow it to keep us broken, embittered, hard hearted, or even become callous. When I see people treat others in ways that blows the mind, I immediately say to myself, this person has gone through something that has merged them. This person has gone through something that they have not processed. And the rawness of what they have gone through has changed them. It has transformed them for the negative, not instead of for the part of being able to take this experience and use it in a different way. See, life experiences can create raw wounds deep in our souls, and we call them soul wounds. But if we open ourselves up to heal, we're also opening ourselves up to the opportunity of identifying the power in that pain that's wounded us, and to know that it is possible to do something with it. Because if we do not use that pain to facilitate growth, to facilitate transformation, positive transformation, that pain will consume us and leave us with ashes. Thank God that there is always that opportunity when we open ourselves up for it to receive beauty for our ashes. So it is never too late. It is never too late for us to turn it around. Our time is pretty well far gone this evening. And okay, I think we can still stick a little bit more, because all I want to do today is to give an introduction. And we're going to be talking about this subject and looking at it in different dimensions of how we can harness the power that is in our pain. And I think the first foundation that I wanted to establish for us today is that pain has power. Pain has power, and that power can be transformed to something that is beneficial, something that is purposeful. And it's a choice that you and I has to make. The one thing that I know that pain would do for us, it can change your routines. I mean, if we don't control pain, it will control our lives. If we do not control that pain that is emanating from the wounds it dictate our lives, direct our lives, change our routines, make us do things differently. That's how powerful pain can be. It can rearrange your agenda, it can reorder your day. But on the flip side, on the positive side, pain will help you to review your priorities, to determine what is important and what is not. If you process pain properly, you will find that there are some things that you'll be intolerant of. Shallow things that have, if things that are ephemeral, things that has no lasting value becomes it becomes they just you just have a distaste for it. There are just some things that me I can't deal with anymore. Not after all that I have been through. I don't do shallowness. I can't deal with shallowness. I can't deal with people going around, or and just not facing what is in front of them. And I don't do pity party. I don't go to anybody's pity party because I will never do a pity party and invite another person to it. I don't do pity party. And it's not coming from the place of pride. And it's because I know I have learned through the things that I experienced that pity is not going to serve me. And people sitting with me and saying, hey, it's not going to add any value to me. And so when I'm talking about, the comfort that we receive and from the place of pain that we make available to others, I'm talking about something that is constructive. I'm not talking about pity. There's a difference between empathy and pity. And I'm talking about empathy. I'm not talking about pity. Pity is very demeaning. I don't need any pity from anybody. I don't do it. I don't sit and in a place where people, yes, life has happened to me. Life happens. But I want to grow through that experience. I don't want to be in a place where I put myself down and people treat me in a confidential way because I'm not processing my pain. And the pain that we do not process, we cannot transform it. Pain is a raw material and it can be transformed. Pain can be a seed, it can produce harvests. Pain has energy, it has power, and we can turn that power or energy in a direction for good or in a direction for negative. And the thing is that from what I have known of pain so far, we can use the power of pain to birth something new. We can use the power of pain to build something incredible. That's why we all must understand that there is power in pain. And that's what I'm hoping to bring across to us over this next week for us to examine it. Examine it and see what has happened to you. What power is in it? And what choices are you making about what to do with that power? 'Cause? 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 ' our personal testimonies and the testimonies that we share that encourages others, that inspires hope for others, they come from the place of deep testings, the place of deep pain, and pain that we have been able to use its power to bring about a new experience, a new learning, to attain a new level of understanding, a deeper sensitivity. It's incredible what we can use the power of pain to produce when we recognize it and we learn to harness it. Our most cherished realities of life are usually forged from the place of pain. Today, every time I think about the two legs that I lost, and as I shared the picture with my friends last Saturday when we were celebrating the 10 years of Feet of Grace, it was in the process of learning how to walk again, in the pain of that process, an adult learning how to walk again, in the discomfort of learning how to walk again, it produced a power for reflection. It nudged me to begin to think about other amputees. I had all the facilities available to me. I had the medical facilities. I had all the support that I could ask for. I had people to teach me how to work again. I had people with me who were encouraging me. So the pain of learning to walk with artificial legs, it was not easy. It was very painful to control, to overcome the fear, not to think that I'm going to fall over. And in the midst of that pain, that question started: how are amputees in developing countries coping? How are amputees who do not have access to the kind of medical facilities that I had access to, how are they coping, learning to walk again? And that question will not leave me alone. Each time that I took a new, was able to step forward, learning to, I mean, I remember the first time that I worked 1 meter. 1 meter. Just how many steps do you need to walk 1 meter? How my prostheticians and my physiotherapist were celebrating my first meter. And then the day I walked 5 meters, how they celebrated it and were praising me. Keep putting the effort. It was exhausting. And yet, in the midst of all of that, that thought, who is helping amputees in Nigeria? That was where it started. And what has become a foundation today that has provided legs for more than 100 amputees was birthed in that place. That is the transformative power of pain. When you use the power of the pain you're experiencing, you transform it to bring about something that can impact other people's lives for good. We will be contrasting the destructive and the transformative power. And I would look for as many testimonies of other people who have harnessed the power of their pain, and I will share it with you to encourage you. I don't know what kind of experience that you have gone through that's hurt you deeply. I don't know what your own story of pain may be. But this one thing I do know, there is power in that pain waiting to be tapped. There is power in that pain that is waiting to be transferred. And there are lives that are waiting for you at the end of that transformation, so that the comfort that you receive, the hope that you receive, the new knowledge, the depth of understanding that you have gained from your place of pain will become beneficial for others as well. My dear friends, I want to encourage you. Don't waste the power of your pain. Don't. It will be a double tragedy if you do. If you have had to go through this experience, milk it for everything that it has that you can use to bring glory to God and bring help to others. If you have had to go through something that cost you pain, my friends, I encourage you to milk that pain for all the good that it can produce and use it to bring glory to God and help to others. And if you need help in beginning that journey of healing that can help you to get to the place where you can harness the power of your pain and transform it into something beneficial and meaningful, please reach out. I'm only a DM away. I am a trauma transformational coach. And the work that I do is faith informed. I help people to transform their pain to power, to purpose, and to profit. Yeah, you can profit from pain. I am. And more than almost 200 amputees are profiting from my pain. And I cannot even count thousands who have been encouraged by the pain that I endured and transformed to power. And it can be the same thing for you too. If you will begin the journey of healing that can lead you to the place where you can harness the power of your pain and transform it. And it will be my joy to walk that journey with you. So this is where we call it quits tonight. And I hope that this has been meaningful for you. And if you have any takeaway, please don't hesitate to write it in the comments. If you have questions, please do so. Please do so. Ask your questions, and it will be my joy to answer them. And if you have significant takeaway, something that is meaningful for you from today, something you learned that you want to share with others that will encourage them, please put it in the comments. Somebody will read it and it will be a blessing to them. I just pray that this month will be a richly blessed one for you. Whatever your story of pain may be, don't waste your pain and don't waste the power of your pain. There's so many people waiting on the other side, and it would be a loss if they cannot be comforted with the same comfort you could have been comforted. Think deeply about this. And if it's meaningful for you, please feel free to share with somebody else who might also need to hear this message tonight. See you next week, Tuesday, by the grace of God. I'm traveling, so I'm moving quite frequently, and I hope to be here again next week, Tuesday, depending on when I get back into town from my next destination. If I do get in in time, yes, we'll be here. If not, I'll see you the next Tuesday. But until then, Stay good, stay positive, stay hopeful, and don't give up on the hope of a turnaround for good, whatever your own personal experience of pain may be. Good night, and God bless you. Very good. Bye for now.